I hope that everyone has had a restful weekend. I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to my channel. Listen, today's conversation is going to be a little bit different than my last video. Today, I'm going to be introducing two of my very, very best friends. They're more like sisters, and we're just going to have a raw, unfiltered, uncensored conversation about me and love and heartbreak and everything in between. For those that don't know, actually, for those that have been following me, and for those that are new here, welcome. But I am currently about 30 days post-divorce, and it's been really, really hard for me. But I will tell you one thing, I am thriving. Each day that goes by, I am healing. I am really learning a lot about myself and this journey. And again, today I have two of my best friends, and we're just going to get right into it. Plus, I'll share what I've been learning about what a healthy relationship really should look like, and how we really shouldn't ignore the red flags, and really what red flags are, right? We're going to dive deep today. So I hope that you guys are ready. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Hey guys, so look who I have.
Hi.
My two besties.
How are you? Dry.
Why? This is just crazy.
Crickets?
So listen, I told y'all when I came on today to create this content, it was gonna be raw, unfiltered, full of laughs, but we're gonna get serious today. So, you wanna introduce yourself?
Hi,
Go ahead.
I'm Jennifer. I'm the bestie. Nice to meet you.
I'm a bestie too, but my name is Gina.
And we actually have tattoos. We go by JNG, and we have an incorporation. Look, we got bracelets. Show your bracelet.
Oh, you can't see it.
We got these at what, 17?
I don't even remember how old
We
I
were
think we were
not allowed
17.
to get it.
And
Absolutely.
we got bracelets, so we've been friends forever, evermore.
Listen, y'all gonna get it raw and unfiltered today. So, as you all know, I recently went through a really crazy divorce. Not even a month ago, almost a month now. And it's been a trying time, a very trying time. But I think the reason why I brought these two on with me today is because we're going to talk about the importance of community. So this is kind of going to be like a Q&A style, with them more so giving their perspectives and opinions on love and heartbreak and healing, what it looks like.
We've all been through it.
We've all been through it, right?
Not married, but we've been through heartache and trials and tribulations in relationships. So we're here to support.
As you should. As you should, bestie.
We listen and we don't judge.
Listen and do not judge at all.
Oh, they judge.
Yeah, we do.
They judge.
A little bit.
So, I'm going to ask Jenny
Okay.
first question. Before, I'm going to ask you this question too, but
Okay.
why do you think community is necessary during healing?
Well, nobody really wants to go through anything alone. You know, who wants to feel alone and abandoned? You know, you need the support and just to be around people who you know genuinely love you and want to be there for you, and they're going to be your biggest supporter. And we're going to tell you like it is. We're going to be honest and, you know, give you the best perspective that we can give you on whatever issues that you're going with. So you have to have certain people around you that you know you can take advice from and take heed from, because you know it's going to come from a place of love.
True.
That's your community. It's important. We're here to help. What about
Community is like a village. Sometimes what they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to, I'm not going to say necessarily be in your business and be in your relationship, but it's like your balance. It's your
Right.
devil's advocate. It's the other shoe on the other foot.
She always plays devil's advocate.
I always do. Yes, because sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you don't see it from the other perspective. So sometimes you got to. You have to look at it like, yeah, I didn't see it that way. But it's your way to like...
It's up to you to say whether, you know what, I'm going to take that advice, it's for me or it's not. But you can see another perspective on how you can analyze a whole situation. Based on, unbiased opinion.
Okay.
She's the unbiased. She's going to tell you whether you're right, wrong, and different, and then say, okay, how can we fix it?
Yeah. So sometimes don't ask me because I'm going to tell the truth.
Raw.
Raw.
And honest.
I know.
Okay. I think y'all are right when it comes to that. I think community is vulnerability, support, and strength, right? Being able to be vulnerable, because I definitely was vulnerable, and I still am throughout this journey. But it's also giving me strength, and it's also knowing that home is community and is vital. Some people can heal alone, and that's fine. But I think putting yourself in isolation is not always the key. So thank you for having my besties support me through this.
Isolate yourself, and then you're trapped in your own thoughts. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes you need an outlet.
True.
Your besties and your confidants or whoever you hold dear to your heart, they should be able to be that outlet for you.
True. So now we're going to talk about how journaling has helped me. I talked about this in my last video about what it means to journal and how the pages don't lie. So I kind of want to dive deep more into what truths were cracked open during journaling. For me, when I wrote down the things that I'm willing to accept and not accept in my future relationship, and then I went back and I looked at it, it helped me to understand, like, no, this is what you want and you don't want to do. So for someone like Jenny, I know she does a lot of journaling. She used to journal when we was like in high school all the time. So I want to ask, like, what has journaling done for you during relationships and heartbreak and things like that?
Well, from my perspective, journaling was a better outlook for me. I'm not with the podcasting thing. I don't really talk on camera, so this is something new for me. I'm more of a private person, and I get kind of camera shy.
Girl, you doing fine.
Yeah, I'm trying. But I more so like to write down my feelings so that I can. It's just that the things that are in my head, they get jumbled up, and when I'm trying to speak, and I just jump from topic to topic. So when I write, it gives me a clearer understanding of the who, what, when, where, why situation in my journaling. And I'm able to dissect everything, see it on paper. And if I wanted to turn it into a story, I can always go back and, revisit it, finagle it, and move things around when it's on paper.
Gotcha.
And I seem to be more freely when I write versus when I talk.
What about you, G? Because you ain't a big...
I don't journal. I talk too much to journal, I think.
She's a talker.
Yeah, ask me, and I think a lot of things stay in my mind. And maybe I should start writing things down. Maybe that is good, but a lot of things are in my mind and then it comes straight out of my mouth. That's why I try to close my mouth sometimes. But yeah, that's me. I used to write poetry a lot, and I feel like that's an expression, but
definitely poetry is definitely expression.
Yeah,
because you can create poetry through heartbreak, through trauma, through anything.
That's true.
So yeah, it's a form of writing.
Poetry, my little short stories. And I'm always creating scenarios as to why this happened and what could I have done different in this scenario. And I just start bringing things in, and that's why I like to write different perspectives of the scenario.
And I also think that, even though sometimes when you journal, it can get uncomfortable because these are truths that you have to write down and then you have to go back and face. But sometimes having to face that truth, it opens up your mind where you didn't, even though stuff is jumbled up in your head, when you, like you said, when you see it on paper, it's different. It's like you look at things a lot different. And like for me, through this process, journaling has been my number one thing. And I won't say that I journal every day, but when I am feeling angry, or if I'm feeling whatever, like today, y'all, I was on a I wanted to troll. Okay,
She did.
I wanted.
I definitely had to pull that back. Pull that back.
Listen, it's so fresh, but I wanted to troll today. Y'all have no clue.
No trolling.
And
healing.
It was hard. It was hard today, because I was like, again, I just want revenge. I want this person to feel what I felt. But I understand that that's not something that we should be doing, right? And this is why I'm glad I had them here to pull me back, because we know trolling is not good. But if you are going through something, definitely think about journaling and how your feelings written on paper, they don't lie. Do y'all agree?
I agree.
It's written out, so it gives you the reflection of your thoughts, so you can analyze it better.
It's your truth on paper.
Right, and that's a fact, your truth. And don't ever let nobody take your truth from you,
right,
because only you experience whatever pain that was. People could spin the story however they want. That could be their narrative, because maybe that's their truth. But for me, I know what my truth was. I know what my experience was, and I know that's something that I don't ever want to deal with again going forward. So journaling, write it down, and go back, look at it, review it, think about it. It's always helpful to journal. Look, y'all, she got me over here cracking up with her nonsense, okay? Pure nonsense. But let's talk about red flags and your intuition. So I'll start. For me, the signs were there. They were there, right? But because, I think for me, because of love and just wanting to see this person get better, do better, be better in their life, I ignored it. I ain't the first woman or person, because you have men who also ignore red flags, but I ain't the first person to ignore the signs.
And go against your intuition.
Yeah.
When you know better and you do better, they say you know better, you do better, but sometimes you know better, but you don't do better.
Mm-hmm.
And the red flags that are flying around, you want to believe that this person is not that way. You know, they're not going to do anything to hurt you, or that, you know, maybe this is just a little bump in the road for that person, and that's not how they really are.
Or maybe they're going to change.
Or maybe they might change. And then you end up going against your intuition that says, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not.
Let me not do it.
Yeah, it's not a go.
And, so have you? Let me ask. Have y'all ever gone against your intuition?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say all the time. Like, yes. That's crazy, Gina.
Everyone goes against their intuition. That little thing that God puts in you. You know, I'm
feel it. That person. Gut feeling.
And,
like,
you know, God, He leads you, and He instills certain things in people for them to follow. So they know, you know, and it's a good feeling. You follow it, or you don't. When it comes to intuition, 9 times out of 10, you might have a fear of following what you know is right.
Yeah.
In hopes that things will get better, or you might go against it and like, you know what, I'm going to follow my intuition because I know this isn't right, and it can save you a lot of heartache in the end.
But you also you mentioned something earlier about changing. Y'all said something about changing. What I had to realize is that, and I also mentioned this in my last video, you can't change nobody. You cannot. You don't have the, and for me, it's like, I'm like, well, dang, maybe I could change this person. Maybe I can get this person to be better, to understand what I need from him as a husband, right? To pour into me as much as I'm pouring into him. But I realized, like, you cannot change nobody.
They have to want to change for themselves. They have to want to change for themselves or for you. They might not like go that way, but because it's something that you want or something to make you happy, they'll change for you, or they'll try to change, or they'll try to do better, or they'll actually be conscious of their actions because they know it upsets you, for instance, or whatever. So they'll try to change.
Yeah, but a lot of the times I don't want you to change for me. I want you to be
That's true.
Authentic, raw, and if it doesn't align with me, it's okay. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That just means you're not the person for me.
Right.
You know?
I will
That's
say
hard.
that.
I want everyone to better themselves for them because they see it necessary for the elevation, for the change that, you know, they want to bring forth in their life.
But don't you think that in a marriage, when we talk, and I'm
you
not
have to alter certain things in the marriage, to try to fit. But what I'm talking about is like core values and you know, baseline on what we're, the foundation, what we're gonna build on. That can't change. That has to automatically align. And if your core, if I'm feeling it in my intuition that your core values are not aligning with me,
true,
and I go against it and still proceed with the relationship, knowing that the foundation is not stable, and I'm ignoring the red flags, which is showing me that this is not your core, this is just something you're doing for me. Who's to say, like, in an argument or whatever, we're clashing, and now you're resenting me because you're changing for me and you're not changing for yourself. This is not something that you naturally want to do or be.
That's why you need to change for yourself. Anybody needs to change for themselves if they want to change. If they don't want to, then
don't do it for me. Do it for you.
Right. So I felt like that was happening during my marriage. Like, we would make progress, and he would make changes. He would do things, and I would see some of the changes, but I questioned it. Like, was the change really for me? Because when or was it for you? Because when the difficult conversations came about, the conflict resolution skills just wasn't there. It's like
they weren't resolute.
They wasn't resolute. Right. They were
resolution wasn't resolute.
It wasn't resolute. But it's like, so that made me question, like, I see the change. You know, I will never take the credit away. I'm gonna give him credit where credit was due. But it's like when difficult conversations came about, there was no change. So then that made me feel like, okay, well, was you really changing for you, or was you trying to change for me?
Just to fit a puzzle piece that's not really going to fit because the foundation isn't aligning.
It was already faulty from the beginning. So that's something that I had to learn, and that's why I talked about the importance of having a healthy foundation, because you can't build a healthy relationship if the foundation is already faulty. That's like trying to build a house on quicksand. That's stupid. Eventually, it ain't gonna work.
Keep brick. Eventually it's gonna fall.
That ain't gonna work. And I think that's where I found, you know, it happened to me. But, you know, I don't ever take anything away from my ex-husband. You know, I really don't. But I just understand that going forward in my life, the foundation has to be there.
It has to be solid.
It has to be completely solid. Not just on his part, but my part too. Yes. You know? Because there
have to be a solid friendship first too. There have to
that's a good one.
Y'all have to be, I feel like that's when you're looking for a soulmate, you're looking for a husband, you're looking for a partner, a life partner, you guys have to be best friends at first. That's where that foundation, you're supposed to be able to lean on each other.
We're going to go at it. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
I don't feel like you have to be best friends.
Why not?
To start. Because, like...
Maybe not to start. Eventually.
Best friends first. It is what it is, I guess. But, like, no. Friendships build over time. You have to put the time and the energy and the effort. Like, some
I'm talking about before marriage. Y'all have to be friends.
But who's to say I meet somebody, wham, bam, 6 months, and everything is just aligning? We cured this foundation. Like, we're both, whatever we're pouring in, we're both solid people. And we're pouring into this concrete, and it just cured quick. Because we already know the end goal. We both know what we want. We both know out of life. We both know how we're going to maneuver. We're relying on that. We're standing strong on it. We're standing on business, and it can maneuver. And then the friendship will build. That's building a friendship. And then marriage come in. We get all the perks with all of that.
What you think, G? Because your face is looking real
Listen. To each his own.
Our friendship is over 20 years.
All right,
it took 20 years to solidify.
To each his own. I personally do not think that I could do 6 months and married. I don't think I could.
We argue.
But
we talking about in relationships.
But
marriage.
Relationships are the same thing as friendships.
Okay.
You don't think this is marriage? Where are you going?
We're not talking about a friendship. We're like in this
I'll
type
go
of
off-
dynamic. She's
off the
off topic.
But it still correlates.
We're talking about a marriage.
It's the
so
same
you want to be
foundation.
listen, because I don't want to be looking at you a year from now with like, ugh, I can't stand you. You know, I don't want to do that. I want to genuinely be friends with the person that I'm with, even if it don't work, right? Even if our relationship don't work, I still want to be able to continue to be your friend. I think that's important.
Because we chose to continue a friendship. Even through all the trials and tribulations that we've been through. Same way in a marriage. You choose to continue your marriage throughout the trials and tribulations.
True.
You're going to marry somebody was raised different. You know,
I see some red flags with her. I don't want to be friends with her.
Okay, so y'all, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this topic. Well, we can agree to disagree on this topic.
The red flag.
What?
I'll be the red flag.
Okay, look.
I love her.
Yeah,
She's a white woman.
Listen, y'all. I hope y'all got what we was trying to say previously about intuition
and red flags.
And I'm the red flag.
My bad, y'all. Okay, so I just kind of want to switch gears a little bit and talk about what a healthy, aligned partnership looks like, right? So for me, because of the type of mind that I have, I need someone who can intellectually stimulate this brain. I like to read a lot. I like to research, right? Those are the things that
sapiosexual.
This is not supposed to. What is wrong with this girl? Anyway, those are, to be serious, you know, alignment for me looks like spiritual grounding, you know, morals, values, support, not control, not somebody who's draining you, not somebody you feel like, you know, you gotta. It's nothing wrong with wanting to bring somebody up to your level, because I feel like people can grow together and they're supposed to grow together, but it shouldn't feel like a job. If that makes sense. It should not feel like a job.
But marriage is a job.
It is.
And it takes work.
And it does. But it also takes two people to work at it.
Correct.
You can't be pouring. I can't be pouring.
Because you can get fired.
Ooh. That was deep.
You can.
Kind of rough.
And that's when divorce comes in.
Deep down.
You got fired from this job.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, listen. I told
you were saying
you did not perform well. You did not
Don't
perform your duties well. And duties is based off of the foundation and the curing of this cement that we laid here to build the bricks on.
Okay, but we talking about, okay, somebody's a little angry. I don't know what's going on with that. But for me, a healthy relationship, and it's about spiritual grounding. It's about being in tune with my partner being in tune with me. Us being able to learn and grow from one another. And it shouldn't feel like a tug of damn war. Like, I feel like it shouldn't feel like that. Alignment should feel easy. It should feel natural. It should feel organic. And that's what I mean by healthy. You know, being able to effectively communicate with one another and not taking everything as an attack or being on the defense because you may not understand something.
But what if we're both in the first car of the roller coaster and it's going wee up and down and around and y'all both in the car and y'all riding this roller coaster together? Y'all are still aligned, right? But it's still a roller coaster ride. It's gonna have ups and downs.
You're right. That's
Positive
true.
Patty.
Okay. So that's her example. What does
Still
that?
aligned.
Okay, so Gina, let's shift it over to you because this one. What do you what do you have to say about a healthy?
Well, you started off saying about pouring into your partner and your partner not pouring back into you. I feel like that is important because there has to be a balance. There's scales. There's a balance. He might be stronger at one thing, you might be weaker, and that's where he's supposed to be your support. You might be stronger with one thing and he's not. That's it. That's where the balance comes in a relationship. That's where that's the tug of war, but that's also the alignment. The alignment to me sometimes doesn't have to be even alignment. It can be a little bit off balance, but it matches. That's where they say opposites attract. There could be an introvert and an extrovert, and they love each other to death. And you know what I'm saying?
But do opposites really attract?
Sometimes they really do. Sometimes it's the one that's pop. I won't say that the rest of that, and it'll be the quiet one, the simmer one that just be like but.
Well, listen. Well, and I guess I must be the exception to the rule because I was that was a complete opposite for me, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, but it attracted somehow. Y'all was together for how many years before y'all got married and through the marriage if you add it all up. So something attracted. That's what I'm saying. So something attracted you guys to even become friends, for you guys to take him serious enough to date him, to actually live together, to mingle each other's family, blend each other's family. So there was something there.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, listen, I will never take away anything from the good parts of him. You know, we had a lot of fun together. We shared great moments together. But it just didn't work, you know, because we weren't aligned with a lot of things. If you take the fun part out and you talk about the nitty gritty of things, there was no alignment. That's just a fact.
I get it.
You know,
somebody jumped off the roller coaster. They was afraid of the dip, and they hopped off.
Right. So going forward, you know, a healthy relationship, I know what I want as far as a healthy relationship, and I hope that you all know, because you know y'all ain't always make the best choices.
No,
but
trust and believe I haven't. So, you know, and I'm not the one to sit here and say, you know, everything is always going to be perfect, and I've made all the best decisions in life. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, but, you know, it's how you bounce back from them, how you learn from them, how you grow from them. And it's okay if you don't grow together. Some people grow apart. Some people are not meant to be in your life for a reason or a season.
Yeah, forever.
When you choose to enter into a marriage, it's because you chose to work with that person. Like, you understood the flaws, you saw the red flags, you went against the intuition, or you followed your intuition, and somewhere down the line, you just grew apart. You stopped being able to work together, and it's okay.
So I just think for everybody out there, think about what a healthy, aligned relationship looks like for you. So to close out, y'all, we're going to talk about what my next chapter looks like. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what my next chapter is going to look like, because I'm literally taking this day by day, and I'm trusting God. I'm leaning on him more than ever, and I'm leaning on my community right here. I'm leaning on my community. And what I'm hoping for and praying for and manifesting is genuine love, friendship, more money, right? Financial goal, financial stability. Not just for me, but for my partner too. And, you know, just being the best version of myself that I can continue to be, because I definitely want to heal from what I went through. And right now, I just don't know. I'm kind of just taking it day by day, if that makes sense.
Right, and I definitely feel like you should take it day by day. Like, you don't just end a relationship and think that you're going to heal overnight. It's going to take time. It took time and investment in that relationship. It's going to take time and investment in you in your single
Singleness.
your singleness, your single
My
portion
singleness.
of your life right now. And I just hope and pray for you. I pray for your mentality. I pray for your stability and learning you over again. Learning you as a single woman, learning what you want to invest in your next relationship, how you're going to invest in it, the things that you're going to accept, the things you don't want to accept. More so leaning towards your intuition, because your intuition will never steer you wrong.
True.
Like,
You gotta listen to it.
Pray on it. Let go and let God, and He's going to steer you in the right direction.
Yes.
Follow your intuition. The red flags, if you see it's an issue,
it's a elimination season, baby, because that's what we in.
God.
Oh,
she's definitely
elimination season. We're not playing. Just because I'm divorced does not mean I'm desperate. Right. And my merch is coming out soon, so I hope that you guys will support the merch. The t-shirts are on the way. I got so much more in store for you guys. Any final?
And what's the title of that? The shirt? You not gonna put it out?
Divorced, not desperate.
Divorced, not
Suki.
desperate.
It's elimination. It's elimination season. Okay. They're outside. I'm outside too.
I'm outside.
But with restrictions.
You can come outside and just get a drink and just karaoke, and we could do things.
Support system. We're just gonna. We don't need to dwell on the past.
No.
Yeah, true.
It's moving forward. Make more happy memories. Get back to us.
And learn who you are. There you go.
That's the most important.
Yes.
So thank you guys for tuning in with us today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your nights. It's nighttime for us. And thanks to my two besties for really sitting in today and giving their raw, unfiltered opinions, because they're very much opinionated.
I tried.
Okay. But until we meet again, remember, y'all, I got this, you got this, and we got this. I'll see y'all in the next video.